Hello, Mr. C here. Welcome to Lesson 18, Marking Angles and Segments. This is to help us keep track of things in a drawing and to be able to determine when things are equivalent in size and shape to one another, or what we call congruent. So when you have a line segment, I'm going to draw a line segment here, and you were to cut this line segment into two smaller segments, if I put another point here, it's pretty obvious the way I've drawn that the two line segments AB and BC are not equivalent. However, if I were to draw this a little differently, where it appeared that, for example, E is in the middle of DF, then one might be led to think that it is actually the midpoint or right in the middle. So we have markings for that. If it is in fact in the middle, we would put a single marking here and a single marking there to say that segment DE is equivalent in length to segment EF. What if they look to be similar but were not? I'll give you an example of that. If I had something in the middle, but let's say one segment GHI. That's my dog barking on video. GHI, but let's say the length of GH was 5.1, but HI was 5.16. Just very, very different. Then I would have markings to signify that. I would put maybe one mark over here and two marks on this segment. That way I would be sure that GH is not equal to HI in length. Okay, the markings help me do that. We have pretty much the same thing for angles. I'm going to go down just a tad. If we have an angle that is equivalent to the measure of another angle, then I would put one mark on this angle and another mark on that angle to determine that they're equivalent in size. So if I had a more complex drawing, let's say I have an angle, I have a ray right there that cuts that angle in half or bisects it, I would mark that this angle and this angle are congruent. It would let me know they're the same measure and that I'm actually cutting it in half. If they are not the same size, so if they have a different size, you want to label that to be sure. Let's say those angles are slightly different or a little bit different. I might put one mark on that or two marks on that, and just let it be known that the process continues. You can also put 3 marks on a line segment or an angle of 4 marks. At some point, it gets a little confusing, and you might want to be considerate of the viewer.